Co-worker gets me fired. I waited many years for revenge. Ooh. If revenge is best served cold, then my revenge was many years in the freezer. And this week was finally pulled out and had whipped cream and a cherry put on top before finally served. Background. This is gonna be juicy. Like, let's keep going. Because I worked for a company for almost a decade that had a small team consisting of 10 people doing commissioned work for businesses in my city. The owner treated us like family, knowing that we worked long and hard days, sometimes up to 60 hours a week. He paid us better than expected, bonuses and perks. He negotiated with businesses that commissioned our work, even gave the whole company a week paid off when his son was getting married so we could attend. Oh, he sounds nice. We had squabbles like any other family, and things weren't always bright and perfect. But this is to show how nice the owner treated his employees and didn't screw me over. After working there for years, the manager position became open. Since by then I was one of the most senior workers with the company, so I thought I would apply, and a few others did so as well. I didn't get the position mainly because despite my experience at company, I didn't have a business administration degree. Someone who worked for the owner did, so he got it. Realizing the education I would have to get, the demand of this job, I thought long and hard and concluded that if I wanted to go anywhere in life, I would have to get that degree. Coming out of high school to work for a company was great, but if I wanted to do something more, I would have to go to university. I talked to the owner and gave my 2 weeks notice. When I explained what I wanted to do and why, he understood that I was trying to make something of myself. This all becomes relevant later, I promise. This is gonna be juicy. Going to university, I found I had tuition covered through government grants, but not things like food, rent, etc. So I looked around and eventually found work at Company B. Company B was a retail store with a bigger staff than I had been used to, somewhere around 50 employees, but had such a huge employee turnaround that it was scary at times. I can only imagine, like, my company has like that turnaround. They dealt with a wider range of goods from groceries to very expensive items. They had a certain niche clientele that they could order items for and cater to. I ended up working part-time in their warehouse and answered to the warehouse supervisor who answered to the manager. There were other supervisors for other parts of the store, but for this only, the sales supervisor is relevant. Skip forward 7 years. In that time, I got my BA degree and worked at Company B the whole time, going from part time to full time, and eventually applied for the warehouse supervisor position. I was interviewed, I got the job, and I've been supervised for months when the manager and I hired Kay as the warehouse clerk. Kay isn't the one to get revenge, but she played a crucial part in the revenge. Then Butthead gets hired. Butthead started as a cashier, working quickly up the chain and brown nosing as many co-workers as possible, including the manager. When the sales rep went on maternity leave, Butthead quickly jumped at the chance to work in sales and ended up permanently being a part of the team, then the sales supervisor soon after. Me and Butthead got along like oil and water. We butthead each other. Sorry. We butted head, like you and butted head, over things constantly. She would tell the manager all the small things that I did, but called me a snitch when I reported the issue she was causing. She would badmouth me and my warehouse staff, talk over me at meetings, and try to take credit for my ideas. She openly told co-workers that I was the cause of many issues and couldn't wait for me to leave. Ooh. Oh, and she was never at fault. It would be the customer's fault, my fault, delivery driver's fault, another co-worker's fault, etc. There were times when we got along well, but few and far between. I get fired. So one day, a very, and I mean very expensive ring set over $5,000, I found out later, ordered by one of our customers, comes in. Years ago, I set up a procedure for any type of jewelry so it would not get lost or stolen. The last step is once we have done everything within in the warehouse, we take it to the office and have someone put it in the safe immediately. This particular time, I was the one who received the ring, so once going through the procedure, told Kay that I was taking it to the office. The only one available who had a combination to the safe was Butthead. I asked if she could open the safe. She looked at me, looked at the jewelry box in my hand, and then said, "Put it down here on my desk. I'll put it away once I'm done with this email." The next day, I got a call from the manager to come to the office. I head there to find the manager, board head, and the HR consultant they put in when some real shit stuff starts to hit the fan. Manager tells me that the ring set has disappeared. I told them the procedure I followed, and last I saw them was with Butthead. Manager tells me that Butthead checked the box and that box was empty. Manager then pulls the box out. Sure enough, the box that the rings were in was completely empty. I swear to the manager that the rings were inside when I checked them before even giving to Butthead. At this point, my word against hers by stroke of bad luck, the installed video recorder had broken down days before the incident, so there was no way to verify what happened. Kind of odd timing. We all knew someone has to take the blame for this, and that's when Butthead strike, saying that it was my fault, saying it was the last scene in my hand. Manager asked if this is true. Then I realized that yes, I was indeed the last person to touch the thing, and I never actually saw Butthead pick up the box. Butthead gives me a look that screamed, "Gotcha!" Oh, absolutely not. No, no, no. She gotta go. Manager and HR consultant are supposed to leave. After what seemed like forever, I got called in. Manager tells me that since I was responsible for the ring at the time and now they are lost, they would be firing me. But since they had no proof as to whether I stole the rings or not, they wouldn't press charges, which scared the crap out of me as this is the first time I heard of them thinking of this. I go back to the warehouse, tell Kay and the other warehouse clerk just what happened, grab my personal belongings, and left that day. I think Butthead kind of like I think Butthead could have avoided what happened and like shouldn't have given that look of gotcha. After a couple weeks of trying to get my head around what happened and weighing my options, I decided my first priority is to try and get some sort of job and consider it lucky if I get a job flipping burgers with the bad rep on the ass company B. I called the owner of company A, the first company, to get a good reference from them and explain what happened and why I was calling, only to get a shock of a lifetime. The manager position was about to be opened. The guy who I lost the position to was retiring soon due to complicated health reasons. Owner had kept tabs on me while at university and understood when I didn't immediately come back to him. But with a golden opportunity like this, he wanted me back and I wasn't gonna say no. Oh, thank God, I thought it was gonna be something bad. I dived into the new job I originally wanted with the owner I enjoyed working for. I thought then and there everything would be behind me, not knowing it would come back not only to bite me but to pay dividends. The revenge case side. This I found out after Butthead reckoning. After I was fired, Kay knew she had to do something about Butthead. Kay knew I wouldn't lose or steal something like the ring, but also knew that without proof, Butthead would deny she did it and have Kay and her crosshairs to attack next. So after talking with her husband, she hatched a plan. Woo. She started hanging out with Butthead, telling her things like, "I am so glad he's gone," or wish he had been fired much earlier. Butthead, feeling a high from getting rid of one of her forms in her thighs, soaked it all in, and after a couple weeks, invited Kay and Kay's husband, from now on KH, for drinks at her place with her and Butthead's husband. Months pass. Kay and Kay's husband do things regularly together with Butthead and Butthead's husband, including drinking on weekends and couple-related events. Ooh, she's playing the long game. When together, Kay would occasionally badmouth me and Butthead would agree. Finally, after a year of playing nice, when Kay and Kay's husbands were over at Butthead's for one of their drinking parties, Kay randomly badmouthed me, mentioning the rings in passing. The Butthead said something that Kay was waiting for. I wanted those rings, so I stole them. Big mistake. Kay, hearing this, asks for more details. Kay's husband looks at her, tries to wave her off with one hand, then gives up when Butthead keeps talking. That day, Butthead had stopped writing her emails and was going to put the ring in the safe. The safe was open and she was about to put the rings away when Butthead had an idea. See, as mentioned above, Butthead wanted me gone from Company B. She also wanted those rings. She also knew that the cameras weren't working. She figured that she could pocket the rings, tell the manager they were missing, and spin it so I would take the blame. Kaden asked where the rings now, and Butthead, being too drunk and not seeing a reason not to brag, not only tells her but shows her where they are in her room. All while Kay's husband had been recording the whole conversation. Ooh, juicy. Kay gives a copy of the recording to a manager the next workday. Police are called immediately. Butthead is arrested and her house is raided. They find the rings. Kay and Kay's husband gave it the recordings and testimony to record. Butthead's reckoning has begun. Part 2 of the long-awaited revenge. I got a call from a prosecutor's office after Butthead is arrested and charged with theft over $5,000, among other things. He wants me to testify about what she did to me. I didn't skip the beat in saying yes. Fast track to the trial. Prosecutor has me, Kay, and Kay's husband testify and plays the recording of Butthead admitting that she stole them. Her attorney tries to throw out the case, saying that Kay got Butthead deliberately drunk, but George didn't buy it since there was proof she drank all the time. George was lenient. I gave her 5 years in prison, which she yelled was unfair, but I personally thought she got off easy. Meanwhile, as the trial was happening, I was talking with a lawyer to sue Butthead for setting me up like she did. Oh my God, you're just not letting her get up for air, are you? We were also going to sue Company B for wrongful termination, but they settled the day they got notice of the lawsuit and knew they would lose. Butthead wasn't so lucky. They tried some trickery by having Butthead's husband divorce her, and he received everything in the divorce. But my lawyer added him into the lawsuit as well. My lawyer asked overall for $3,500 for emotional distress, back pay from when I was fired until I started working for Company A again, and legal fees. And now you are probably wondering, what the metaphor of cherry on top was? Ooh, yes, of course, because me, I'm wondering, like, at this revenge. Well, recently we had someone leave Company A, so we are hiring someone to replace them. When I was going over the resume and set up interviews for the job this week, lo and behold, Butthead was one of the people to apply. But you didn't know that. Tell me you interviewed Butthead. I looked at the resume and was about to trash it, but then smiled. When I set up the interview, she came in at her slotted time, looking brown nosed her way through. Then she saw me. I smiled, an evil smile, and she went white. All I said was, "Ah, Butthead, how are you? Remember me?" A deer in the headlight looked from her. I look at her resume and say, "I'm sorry, I do not think you'll be a good fit for our company. Thank you for applying." She said not one word and left. A delicious pro-revenge. Some people will just let it slide. It's not like you get a job after losing that one. I mean, it's not like you had a really rough time after this interaction and like this whole thing got down. I mean, you locked out. You got a job I mean, most people would have been like, it's water under the bridge, you know what I mean? But not you. And not only you, but your friend Kay as well. The fact that Kay was moving in the shadows and waiting for the exact moment to strike. Such a good friend. I know this isn't an I might be a hoe, but you're absolutely not a hoe. Like, justice was solved. We got some more work nightmares for you coming in hot. New boss hated me and treated me like garbage, so I exposed his affair. Woo! This took place many years ago when I was 21, so young, but it feels like yesterday. This may be lengthy, but context is necessary. I worked at a local rec center. I was a pool manager in the aquatics department. You know, lifeguarding, swim lessons, etc. Not to brag, but I was extremely good at my job. There were always requests to be in my class, and families only wanted to sign up for sections I was teaching. Over time, I got more training and was able to teach and do almost everything that the aquatics department could ever need. Our coordinator, my boss, received a job offer elsewhere and decided to pursue that. I loved my job, my boss. I was sad to see her go, but this gave me the chance to throw my hat in for the position. It was a long shot due to my age, but I figured I should try. I had all the qualifications and knew the place inside and out, even the employees. Sadly, I didn't get the job, bummer, but I assumed it was a long shot at the time. What caught me by surprise was that the person they did hire lacked almost all of the quote required skills that had been listed. He was a businessman. Let's call him Calvin. So, how did Kevin get the job? Like, does he know someone? Kevin likes swimming but didn't have any training on pool safety or the pump room know hows. According to the higher ups, he was going to make our faculty a quote money maker. How did he do this? Well, he cut safety corners. Not a good plan. If there's one corner you do not want to cut, it's a safety corner. We started staffing less lifeguards for shifts, sometimes only having one on the pool deck, which was incredibly unsafe given all the blind spots in our facility. He shortened breaks, claiming the staffs were all lazy teenagers. Again, not safe as they needed a chance to rest and be ready to be back on deck maintaining safety. Is that like legal? Now, I get it. Teenagers can be lazy and be a pain. We've all been there and witnessed it. I know not everyone was an all star employee, but that's the case everywhere. As a part of my job, I would evaluate and train the employee regularly. We practiced skills and reviewed important first aid that needed to be second natured rescue, CPR, AED, etc. Well, Kevin also declared that these trainings were happening too frequently. It was a waste of money to be doing this, and they should be doing this in their free time. Oh, this is not gonna end good. This was breaking point number one, and I decided to go speak to him about this and said, "Hey, Kevin, can we talk?" Sure, what do you want? Well, I really think that we should start up the trainings again. In the event of an emergency, we really need the staff to be ready and ready to react to anything. Shouldn't they already know it? Yeah, but most of these things they need to practice. You know, CPR is in the rescues and stuff. I don't really think that that's something I need to pay you or them to do. They should just practice. I feel that working on these skills as a team really helps with retention and knowing it actually gets done. I mean, most of them don't have their own pools and backbones to practice at home. We are done with this conversation. I know you wanted this job, but I am in charge. Do what I say. Okay. I was livid. At no point did he actually listen. He treated me like a child and sent me away. The next day, he called me into his office for a chat where he told me I was completely out of line yesterday and wrote me up for insubordination. Like, what? For like being consigned? You got written off for being consigned about safety? I mean, let's keep going. I went home crying. Not once have I ever received a warning, a complaint, or anything negative with my working performance. To be written off for expressing myself and being called insubordinate wrecked me. After I composed myself, I decided I would just do my best and try harder. I did what was asked and tried to keep up morale and try to stay positive. A month later was my second breaking point. Kevin and I had a meeting where we discussed employees and evaluation performances. After he left for the day, he sent me a text saying, I've thought about it and I want you to call X, Y, and Z and let them go. They are awful employees and we can just replace them. Because I had been conditioned to just obey this moron, I said, okay. Well, this didn't sit well with me. I stewed on it for the rest of the day and stayed up late with it just gnawing at me. To be fair, the employees he mentioned weren't anything great, but I felt it wasn't my place to be the one to let them go. He's kind of getting you to do his dirty works for him, which I don't like. My job description said nothing about hiring or firing. It was always up to the coordinator, Kevin, or higher ups for that sort of thing. So I decided to express my feelings the next day. And surprise, surprise, it didn't go well. How, Kevin? I was thinking about the text you sent me yesterday. I've been going over it and I'm not comfortable being the one to let these employees go. I don't think it's in my job description and I feel that falls under your department. And I'm sorry I said okay to it yesterday, but I don't think I should do it. What? Yeah, I just don't think I'm comfortable with it. I'm not in that kind of position. That isn't my problem. I told you to do it, so do it. That just isn't something I can do. Can we look back at my job description and maybe I missed it? He did not like this response. Let me guess. It's not in the job description at all. No, we won't be doing that because I know it's your job to listen to your boss. If you won't do it, I guess I'll just do your job and write you up for insubordination. Me while crying. Okay, now this is where it starts to get juicy. Over the next few months, I did exactly what I could and tried to avoid Kevin at all costs. This started to become really easy as Kevin wasn't back by the pool as frequently. He started meeting with the Rex Senior Director more and more, his boss. He would go to lunch meeting with her, meeting in her office, and even attend the fitness classes she taught. Fishy. No, very fishy. Also, swimming fish pond is not. Let's keep going. Well, now, I wasn't the only one who noticed this. All of the aquatics department started to pick up on him. They would ask me, hey, where's Kevin? And I would tell them, director meeting with an arrow. He was rarely in his office anymore. I was left doing his job more and more, and he would tell me, I just have to meet with the director. We are trying to turn this place around and make some money out of this money paid. So I diligently did as I was told, while also tracking his meeting. I have a theory. It seems to be like quite consistent with bad boss stories. I have a theory where if you are a bad boss, you are projecting because you're actually the bad employee and you are blaming everybody else. I kept a notepad and wrote down what he did in the day. I felt like Pam from the office tracking Michael's workday. It got from the point where he was on average only in the aquatics area for 1 hour a day, while all the rest were spent with the director in one way or another. So me being a spiteful person, I used this when I finally decided enough was enough. After 6 months of Kelvin, I had had it and decided to leave for new adventure. Finally, I know, but I decided to go out with a bang. I turned in my 2 weeks, was my cherry self, did everything I was asked to do, then hit my exit interview with HR. I expressed all of my safety concerns, new policies I didn't agree with, and told them all about Kevin's antics. I brought the notepad and told HR, oh, and I brought this for you. I'm pretty sure Kevin and Nancy, the director, are sleeping together. Here are my notes. Feel free to figure this out. Then I left. For a young and insecure me, this was the most empowering moment. I walked out feeling like a champ and didn't look back. A few months later, an old coworker reached out in an email and told me, hey, not sure if anyone has updated you on things since you left. It's gotten crazy around here. Remember Nancy and Kevin? Well, they both got fired. Ooh! Apparently, they were having an affair and we used her office to sleep together at work. They are both now divorced and are jobless after everything played out. Just thought you should know after all the crap he put you through. Vindication never felt sweeter. Ah, that ended nicely, didn't it? Remember when I said about people that like always point the finger, like the bad bosses that are always criticizing other people. This is why you should always be careful about pointing fingers. Like, we should communicate when we are unhappy with something, but at the same time, let's make sure that we are not living in a glass house when we throw stones. All right, we got one more. This is juicy. Let's see. A Miley Eho for firing my brother after he proposed at my wedding. Woo! So, a bit of background. I own a plumbing company and I hired my brother 3 years ago. He was jobless after the pandemic and I offered him to come and work for me. He was 22 at the time and now looking to become a master plumber and start his own business. At my wedding, in which he was the best man, he decided that during his speech he would give us all a big surprise and decided to propose to his long term girlfriend. Me and my wife, we are appalled. Like, what the fuck? If you do not ask permission to propose at someone's wedding, you should expect them to be appalled. I mean, we both feel like he stole the shine from our day. I mean, listen, he probably didn't steal the shine, but it was definitely an interesting choice. Everyone else in our family were so excited and kept taking pictures with her, looking at the ring, etc. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely not. I decided to fire him the very next day. He doesn't understand why. He claims I'm being selfish and irrational, and our parents agree. They're saying that business should be separate from our personal lives, but I can't overlook what he did and how he ruined our day. Am I overthinking this? Oh, yeah, I mean, he definitely overstepped. I wouldn't want to work with someone who did something like that to me either. And you did your brother a solid. He was jobless, and you are like the one person that gave him a lifeline. And this is how he repays you. Like, I just find out very odd. Okay, so very good points in the comments. Not the a-hole. This case can separate family and business because you only offered the job because he was family. Literally. Like, inspiring him, you could literally just say, wow, I'm separating family business. I would tell him that he can have the job back after he pays for half of the reception since he turned it into a combination wedding and reception and engagement party. I mean, you do need to talk to him because firing him without telling him, you're not firing him because he's bad at his job, but you are firing him because you're mad at him for what he did. So I feel genuinely like you need to have a chat, a conversation with your brother. Kind of let him say his piece, let him apologize if he plans on doing that. I feel like maybe you kind of jumped the gun a little bit by firing him just because you didn't give him a chance to apologize. At the end of the day, like, the damage is done. You only have like one wedding and he totally like hijacked that. Like, he kind of like wanted to become like you gave him a job as a plumber 3 years ago. He's not looking to become a master plumber and start his own business like you. That wouldn't be weird, but it also seems like, okay, he's also kind of hijacking your wedding. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but like, yeah, not the echo. Well, what do you guys think?